Hey everyone, Hans here, and today another video that many of you have requested. In today's video, we are going to find a list of UGC agencies using Google search operators. And this is a video that is based on a LinkedIn post I made the other day where we're going to use Google search operators to find companies that are otherwise hard to find, that maybe you cannot find in a database or in Sales Navigator, or you just want to make sure that you capture your entire TAM. So that's what we're doing today. And I'm excited to show you how we're going to do it. We're going to be using Epify, a little bit of Google Sheets, Google, of course, and then a bit of Clay as well, and actually some Apollo. So a few tools in there, but it's just one way of doing the workflow. There are multiple ways of doing it. I will walk you through all the steps. And again, I'm excited to show you how it works. So let's dive in. Now, for those of you who missed it, this is the post I'm referring to, talking about Google search operators. So for some context, someone asked me, how do I build a list of UGC agencies? Now, there's just one example. Back when I was running Line, we did this with lead generation agencies, just because a lot of these agencies, they're small, they're, it's somewhat hard to find at times, and you just cannot find them in a database. So you can either, look at Twitter, look at different sources, or then of course use this method of searching on Google. As long as they have a website, then chances are you're able to find them this way. It just takes a little bit of additional filtering. Now, some of the filtering we're already doing here with this minus site, where we're filtering out Fiverr, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Upwork. After running the search, turns out that you also need to add, Meta or Facebook or YouTube or whatever. So it takes a little bit of tweaking, but over time you'll come up with the perfect list of negative, companies you want to add in there, and a bunch of keywords as well. Now, one thing someone did point out, which is Vinit right here, who mentioned that a couple of problems that he has with this approach is that your match rate isn't great. So imagine you get like first of all, you're not going to find a lot of domains from the SERP itself, search engine report, and might give you profile links, that type of thing. Now, that is something that I don't completely agree with. You often just get the actual URL of the company, especially if you negative out, like say the aggregator sites like Clutch or Upwork or whatever. Then finding decision maker, etc., and getting all that. The numbers didn't really excite him. I do understand that. So if you're running a lead generation agency and and your client says, "Listen, I want to target UGC agencies," if using this method you're able to build a list of 500 companies, then that's one day of sending, more or less, right? So that doesn't excite a lot of people. But for a lot of sales teams, or if you're running a company that sells to UGC agencies, having another 500 accounts to go after that are a really good fit and that are flying under the radar, that's usually actually something that very much excites you and that makes you really happy. And if you're gonna do a more manual approach, then you can reach out to, well, you can obviously just automate it as well, to various decision makers, making sure that you maximize your chance of getting a reply. Then you can add a calling part to the campaign if you cannot find. So what he mentioned, okay, in some cases you don't get valid emails. Sure, you add them to a social campaign, you add them to a calling campaign, to any type of campaign that you're running to reach people without an email, and then you can actually get some really exciting accounts and contacts out of this. So it's not for everyone, but for the use case of the person who requested this, it was definitely valuable. So I'm hoping whoever is watching this will find value in it as well. Now, enough talking about that. What we're going to be using is Epify. They have a Google search result scraper. And the good thing about that is you can stack different searches, right? So that sort of goes, not against, like, I'm nothing against my good friend commenting on LinkedIn, but it does sort of counter like his first concern, and a concern, like a legitimate concern that some other people might have as well. of, okay, how scalable is this and how many results am I going to get? So what you can do, you can grab this and like the first search, and then you add different keywords to that. Now this just needs, you need a little bit of expertise. Okay, these companies are looking at what are some terms that they're always using on their website, right? So here's an example. um, so you guys are UGC agency, does this and that. So we create video, then higher ROAS, that type of thing. We are, specialized UGC agency. Fine. So all these little terms that these companies often mention on their website, those are terms that you can use to then um, construct these different searches that you have right here, right? Now, another way of going about that is you can simply grab the text of a bunch of companies, drop them into a text file, upload them to ChatGPT, say, this is the structure that I need for my search terms. You construct these searches for me. I'm actually going to do that after this video, and I will show you what the results look like. But that's another way of going about it. So you can almost programmatically um, get all these searches to be able to cover most of your market. Now, in this case, we only came up with 3 searches, and we're just doing a tiny scrape. So we're just going to scrape the first 5 pages, and just for the sake of getting a data set. Other than that, didn't really change anything about this. So I already ran it. Otherwise, I would have to start cutting up this video, and I usually like to do things in just the one take. So then looking at these runs right here, this is the end result. So you have a bunch of results in there. So what you want to do here, because if you download it like this, then the file gets formatted a little bit funky. So instead you go to organic results, because those are results that we only want in the end. And then you want to export this, the organic results. Actually, don't think you need to click into organic results, but you actually here want to make sure you select organic results only. Download a CSV, organic results, you hit download, and then you're left with this file right here. So these companies, like some of them are a great fit, some of them are not. So you have the descriptions right here, which is description that we got from Google. So right here in Google Sheets, you can already start doing like a quick keyword validation. So you have like GPT for Sheets, or different types of plugins that you can then use to filter out bad fits. But we're going to do another step real quick that requires Apollo. And again, this is just one way of doing it. There are different ways that you can do it. This is just, again, me showing you one way you can do it, and hopefully giving you some inspiration. So you want to copy and paste these right here. Make sure you hit copy at least 6 or 7 times, otherwise it doesn't copy it. Then in here in Apollo, you want to add this as a list, and you hit save and search. That will give you all these companies. As you can see, some of them are a really bad fit. Now, in this case, they're looking for UGC agencies that are sort of flying under the radar. So we're just going to make a bit of an assumption saying, if they have headcounts of more than 200, then we would have found them already. Then industry, let's just go with only marketing and advertising. And then we have the companies right here. And then imagine they want to go after the founder, owner, CEO, co-founder, VP of sales, marketing manager, head of marketing, for example. Then we have like 300-ish people in here. So then you want to grab them all and you want to download them. And then we're going to grab that list, which I already did, and we drop that into good old Clay right here. Then here in Clay, we have this list. We already have some emails, which is great. And in this case, we still have some companies that are not in marketing and fashion, but we have these keywords right here. Again, we can, if you want to save credits or you don't want to use AI or whatever, then you can do, and you could have already done this in Apollo as well. Just make sure that it includes certain keywords such as social media, advertising, content creation, whatever, because those are very likely to be those agencies. And then, by filtering for those keywords, you already have your list, right? Again, could have done that in Apollo, can do that in here with the basic formula, where you're saying, okay, formula keywords, if it contains either of these keywords, then give me a yes or true or false, and then based on that we can qualify, disqualify companies. Or what you can do, you can grab their company description and then just you run that through AI. So you go here, enrich data, AI, and then you just based on this company description, is this an agency offering UGC services? Obviously that's not the prompt you're going to use, maybe expand on that a little bit, but that's the idea of how you would then use the SEO description. Maybe you could say, okay, I'm going to use the SEO description to get the best, the best possible answer. But if they don't have a description, but they do have keywords, use the keywords. So those are a couple of different ways you can then filter out non-agencies, and that should get you 90% of the way there, which in a lot of cases is good enough. And then for the companies that don't have a description, you can grab that from LinkedIn. As you can see there, you usually get about 100, like you get really close to 100% match rate. And then we use the DataWise API to then find the emails, giving us another almost 100% match rate. Then what you can also do is first validate, you can waterfall it, the emails from Apollo. If they're not valid, use DataWise to get the actual valid email. And that gives you really close to 100% match rate on these decision makers. So that's how you build a list like this. Again, this is an example for UGC agencies. You can do this for a lot of different companies with a lot of different ways of searching for it. But I found the all-in text to be really helpful. Then you want to negative out other sites like Fiverr, Instagram, or in your case, maybe different ones. You can use all inside, maybe even in URL, or block out different keywords, etc. In my case, I took that to Apollo, but a lot of things that you're going to be doing in Apollo, you can also already do in Google Sheets by maybe using GPT for Sheets, or just a really simple formula to look for certain keywords. That will get rid of most of the bad fits. Then either in Apollo or Clay, you beat out the rest of the bad fits, you qualify the companies, you use DataWise or whoever you're using to get the emails, and you're good to go. And again, this is really, really scalable because in right here in good old Epify, you can plug in a lot of different searches, you can stack them and just run all those searches, all those different variations to capture most of your market. Hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, let me know. If you did not, let me know as well. Maybe I can do better in the future. If there is something that you're interested in running for yourself, and if you want someone else to handle that for you, then also feel free to reach out, because we have a couple of slots left to take on clients. For now, thanks for watching. Hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.